Right, how's it going, guys? I was just going to transplant my Drosera seedlings into their own individual pots, and I thought, why not film it? So I'm just going to show you how I do it and how I've been doing it with my carnivorous plants, because it's important to keep them very humid. So the best way I personally have done this is I've used these little Tupperware pots. They're really small, easy to fit quite a lot of them in my propagator, so I thought I'd just pop them in here. I'm also going to be mixing up some not compost. I'll be mixing up my medium, and I'll show you what I use as well. So first things first is I need to take these guys out of this wet tray. Let me just get something to pot them on. I'll be right back. Right, now I've got my seedlings into this tray here. As you can see, there's probably roughly 20 to 30 in there. Just here you can see they've started to go, some have started to die off, so I thought I just need to get them out of this pot into their own pots, and then I'll be able to look after them better individually. So I've shown you the containers I'm going to be using, which is these. I'm going to show you the mix I'm going to be using. So right here I've just shredded some sphagnum moss, and then I'm going to be adding some of this. Sorry, I'm going to have to move the phone. Some of this carnivorous plant repotting mix. That's basically it. There's not really much on the market in terms of carnivorous plant mix. So this is going to have to do. So I'll open that, and I'm just going to mix this together in here. Sorry, the angle is really bad. Just about half and half really, and that'll do just fine. So mix this all up. And I find when I cut up the sphagnum moss into really small bits, it just grows a lot quicker. So in no time there'll be a nice mossy covering over the top of all of this. Yeah, that looks perfect. Right, so I have 4 pots in total here that I'm going to be using. I'm just going to fill them up, and then I will be right back. Right, now is the tricky part. Now I need to get a little group of these seedlings out and into the individual pots, which I've half filled them because then it gives them growing space in the top, and I'm going to be keeping the lids loosely on top of these so that the humidity is as high as possible, and I'll be able to control the humidity. So I'm just going to use a little matchstick, and I'm going to try to grab out a group of these. I find them very shallow rooted as well, so they are fairly easy to get out. Just a bit of a balancing game, I guess. Right, there's a nice group of them there. If we can get them out, because they're so small they won't get damaged easily, and then I'm just going to hold them there. Right, drop them into the top of there. Right, okay, so I've got a group of them in here, but what I'd like is to separate them, so not sure how I'm going to do this. I'm going to just try to tease them apart, I guess. Might need to get my fingers in there. If I can just, because I just don't want them growing all in the centre. I want them to grow throughout the whole container, so let me try. There we go. Right, okay, so it looks like there's about 2 there, so let's keep those to one side, and then we're gonna move these guys a bit further over here, just so they've got a lot more space. And then I'm gonna make sure that they're in contact with the soil, like so. Right, and I reckon that'll do for that one. Actually, no, I'm going to get another one up here because we've got so many in here. So let me try and get one on its own. Let's go for a nice healthy looking one. Let's go for this little guy that's hiding under here. So I'm going to get my stick underneath. Oh. They just look like they've got almost no roots on them. Yeah, look, you can see the root on that. It's really out of focus, but you can see the root coming down there. So that's quite lucky to get one on its own. Let's get that. And we're going to pop it straight down here. And it's just important to make sure I get that contact with the root and the soil. So I'll push it in slightly because it will have no problem growing through that. There we are, just need it to stay in contact. Oops, sorry, that's really not in the camera. So I've just popped that one in there. So there's, looks like there's about 2 there, there's 2 there, and then there's 1 individually there, and that will do for now. I'm just going to leave them in here for a couple of months. Now these were actually sown in October, 15th of October last year. So they are very slow growing, but I'm going to keep, these haven't been in my propagator, and I've got a brand new propagator with a light on it, so I'm going to be keeping them in there, and they should grow a lot quicker. I have some in there at the moment that were sown actually from this bunch, and they've been in there for about a week now, and I can already see the difference. They've turned quite red, they've got a lot more dew on them, and they're just looking a lot healthier, so that is where these will be going, and hopefully they'll grow a lot quicker. So I'm just going to do the others, and then I'll show you what I've got. Right, now I've done all 4 pots. There's about 4 in this one, there's about 4 or 5 in that one, but there's a group that I just couldn't separate. They're so small and so fiddly that I just couldn't separate them too much. There's about 4 separate ones in there, and then the first one we did where there's 3 groups, but there's a couple in each group, and then just to hope they get the best start and don't dry out, because the mix I used, well, it's moist, but it's not wet enough. So I've just been using this mister, which is not the most accurate thing in the world, but it will just ensure that the roots are in contact with the soil. Right, so then what I'm going to do once I've got them in the propagator, I'm just going to have the lid on it, but the lid's going to be like that, so it will keep it nice and humid, but it will also let them breathe. Yeah, so there's still, move them over, there's still quite a lot in here, but I've managed to get a good group of them out, so it's just going to be a very slow and steady task. But unfortunately I've only got 4 pots left of this. These were the last 4, so I'm going to have to find something else to use to pot up the rest, because I just don't want to keep them in here anymore, because this wasn't, I made this soil using just general garden compost and some moss, so it's not ideal, whereas this, they're going to grow a lot better in here. Yeah, so I'll take you over to my propagator and I'll show you the ones that have been in my propagator for roughly a week, so I'll show you that 1 second. Right, so here are the groups that I transplanted about a week ago. If I just zoom in there, you can see that they're nice and pink, and I can see it but you can't, there's a lot of dew on them. So they've been doing really well in here. So I've just kept them in these trays with water. They have had these over them like this. So they've been like that and they get nice and humid. And then here are the 4 that I just did today. So I'll probably update you guys when they start to grow, if that's something you want to see. Let's try and zoom in. You can see they look really healthy compared to these guys. They look healthy, but they're just quite green, and these are a lot more, they've got a lot of healthy red in them. So yeah. So once I get more containers, then I'll be able to transplant some more. But that's it for now. So thank you for watching, and I'll probably make a new video soon. Alright, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.